Well, as you saw in the title, this is going to be I think we're at video number 9 now. And we're going to go ahead and lay the deck on the skiff. And I realize now that I'm editing it that I did not do an intro. And we finally got all the foam nice and leveled out. And the fairing compound, I don't know if it was a good idea or a bad idea, but it seemed to work. It filled out some of the voids that I had and some of the little holes and stuff. I just had to fill with epoxy. But you'll see in the video that it worked out halfway decent, but I still had issues. But I believe my biggest problem was I still didn't have a canopy, and you know, it was in the sun and it was hot and it was baking, and it didn't kick well and do well. So I had a lot of bubbles I was fighting, and you'll see all that. I've been struggling here lately. I've been so busy. I just have not been able to sit down at night and edit. I've been working on the boat late at night and all kinds of stuff. And I've got some stuff caught up, some other things caught up. I'm gonna get back to trying to pump videos out every week. And I'm gonna try to keep that pace up for a while. So I hope you'll go ahead and subscribe, and I hope you like this video, and hope it helps somebody out. This is definitely not a how-to. I went into this not really knowing what I was getting into, but hopefully someone can learn from the mistakes I made and the successes I had and use it for their own project. Well, this is my fiberglass, and if you haven't seen in the other videos where I've been using this, 17-ounce biaxial, and I got a whole roll of it from, I can't remember the name of the place, I'll link it, but it's $2.50 a yard. It's 30 inches wide, $2.50 a yard, which is incredibly priced, in my opinion, for what it is, because they make it only, you can only get biaxial in like 50 inches, and it's from one side to the other. I think it's 53 from where I cut out, so this really was going to work out best anyway, so I could overlap in the middle and have a little bit to play with. So, but I'll link that below. It's been really good cloth, I think. I haven't found hardly any bad spots in it to speak of. So, all right, so I went ahead and mixed up about 18 ounces of resin, and the resin I'm using again is the marine epoxy from Builder Central. Now we're gonna go ahead and wet this out, and go ahead and wet the foam and the deck out. All right, we got it wetted out. Got my drape up there, kind of help hold it up while I position it. And we're gonna get this thing going. The only problem is in this stuff is it stretches out. It always wants to stretch out on the ends whenever you pull on it or touch it or breathe on it or pretty much do anything with it. I'm gonna trim that back a little bit where it's not on the gel coat there. Looking good. Well, we got one layer down on one side, and I thought it's kind of optical illusion. All the white spots look like air, but it's where I put the fairing compound. So I've got a couple little, like right in here, keeps trying to bubble up, but I ran that fin roller over it and got pretty much the majority out of it. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'll let this set a minute, and then I'll run back cover it maybe on a couple spots. So now just gonna wet out the other side, do it all over again. Well, we got both layers down. Everything looked really good. I went to get some lunch and I come back and I've got issues. I peeled up this little corner right here, but I don't know if it's because it's setting out in the sun. I don't know. I might ought to put a tarp over this thing after I get done, because I don't think it's really technically supposed to be setting out. But now this stuff's still pretty soft, so I can still peel it up because it's still kind of tacky. But now I got to deal with this. Well, we're getting the second coat almost done, or I guess second layer technically. So I'm just rolling this down here, marking it out where it'll be exact, hopefully close enough. So we're getting somewhere. Well, I just got the second coat finished, and there's a few little air bubbles starting to tick me off. I got a couple that I keep trying to knock down and re-glass or re-epoxy, and they just pop right back up. So that's just gonna have to be dealt with at a later point, I guess. So I did a little layup on 3 pieces of glass. I haven't done that yet. I've been meaning to. I want to see what the thickness is, because I want to keep the thickness about like it was from the factory, because I'm pretty sure they use polyester and chop strand. Well, I know they use chop strand, but I'm pretty sure they use polyester, and using the biaxial mat, it should be stronger. So if I go too thick though, I'm gonna add a ton of weight on this thing, because you can add a lot of weight quick. So I'm gonna see what that, once that cures, I'm gonna measure that and see kind of what it's looking like for 3 layers. Well, now I'm gonna give it an hour or 2 again and just kind of see what it's looking like, kind of keep an eye on it, because every time I look at it I see another bubble pop up. But I'm trying to let it kick off and go ahead and set. That's why I'm using this slow, so I can let it kick, and there's another bubble popping up, but I can let it go ahead and kick and let it set for a little bit before coats, because the slow is a non-blush. So literally I could let this thing set overnight, and as long as I got to it, I think within 24 hours I'd be fine, because that way the layers don't delaminate. But these bubbles, man, about to get to me. All right, so this is cured up pretty good, and I trimmed it up. It's not quite set all the way, so I was able to trim it up with a razor blade. But I mean, 3 layers is pretty thick. This is just some scrap, so it's not, you know, 100% even, but that's probably the thinnest part of it. And this is a piece just random, I picked up randomly. And out towards the edges, it gets thicker. A little bit thicker, but right here in the middle, you can see, I mean, that's still with the gel coat, thick layer of gel coat. So, I mean, that's, even with the gel coat, that's about even. So I think 3 layers is gonna do it. I think 4 is just gonna add a lot of weight. Because I mean, they're only on 5-inch centers. I left about, say, 1 inch, so you've only got like a 4-inch opening. So I think 3 layers is gonna do it. But I can tell you right now, I'm not doing the 3rd layer until the sun starts to go down, because this stuff's just baking. All right, well, the sun is finally going down and it's cooling off a little bit. It's not burning up out here anymore. Because I mean, it was just cooking, and this stuff was kicking. Even though it was a slow, it was kicking fast in the sun. So I think I got the majority of the bubbles under control. Let's get this 3rd coat on and get this thing done. For the last coat here, I was thinking about running it this way instead of lengthwise, because I'm gonna have a pretty big hump in the middle, and that's just gonna put a seam every 30 inches all the way up through. I think I would rather have one big seam in the middle that I can fair out and sand down just a little bit and fair out, than a bunch of little seams throughout. So I think I'm just gonna keep going in the same direction with the glass and just fair out the center and sand it down just a little bit. Oh man, well that was a task, but it's almost done. Now for my favorite part, just gotta lay the peel ply. Well, we're gonna give this one a try. It should be wide enough to cover, and it won't cover the whole thing, but I've still got some of the other I'll finish the front with. Well, I'm trying to be smart about it and get this stuff to lay out nice and even like. But oh yeah, this is working great. Well, I didn't video after I got the peel ply on, and I got it. I mean, this whole back section with that 9-foot piece I had was immaculate, perfect. There were no air bubbles in it whatsoever. It's actually 24 hours later. Up in here, this was the older peel ply I'd been using that I had left, and over in there, I don't want to talk about. Apparently, that was where it had some resin residue on it from apparently where I got it on it somewhere before, and it just wouldn't do anything. So I just, after spending like an hour on it, I got pissed off and said heck with it, and I'll just sand it down. But I'm telling you what, I think I'm done with this peel ply. I mean, you can see all the little air bubbles in it, and I wish I would have videoed last night, but I was just exhausted, and it was about 1:30 in the morning. But I mean, I had all the air bubbles out of this, fin rolled my laminates, so I know there shouldn't have been any air bubbles in anything. And I put the tarp back over it all day today and left it, untouched all day. And then I just looked at the weather, saw that it's gonna rain tonight, and I wanted to get my sawbucks back in here so the water would run off. But this thing has got, it's just air bubbles in the peel ply. And this was the same spot I was having problems with air bubbles and had to cut it out and put another piece in. But I mean, they're everywhere. And that one I think is actually in the laminate. So I don't even know. But all there is to do now is I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna peel it off today. I'm gonna wait, and sometime I'm gonna give it a good 48 hours to cure before I peel it off. That way I know all the blush, all the blush should be, it's been 24 hours, all the blush should be at the surface. Because when you peel this stuff off, the blush comes off with it, supposedly. So hopefully this stuff actually peels up pretty easily. I'm gonna peel up this little corner and see how easy this stuff comes off. It's coming off really good. But I'm gonna get to this bubble right here and see. I just cut it and ripped it. I'll be eating my words on this one. Yeah, I mean, it's a good little surface. So that should peel off real good, I believe. But I'm gonna leave it for a while. I'm not gonna do anything with it. It's Sunday night, so I'm just gonna let it set for a little while. All right, well, it's been 4 or 5 days, and I'm ready to get back to work on this thing. So I gotta get this peel ply up, and it should be getting cured out now. So all of the mean blush and everything should come right off. It's filling up pretty decent, but I still got a lot of bubbles, and that's really frustrating because I spent like, I don't know, 2 hours just on this one section. Well, altogether probably 2.5 hours trying to get all the air bubbles out of here. So we're gonna get this peeled off and see what it looks like. There's the first big air bubble. So that'll have to be sanded. I don't know, this is where I was having trouble with air bubbles to begin with. But I think that'll be no big deal. I'll keep peeling. I'll tell you right now, this is the most frustrating crap to deal with I've ever seen. And if this doesn't do it, I'm gonna be mad. This is, yep, right there. I'm trying to peel it up and it keeps tearing right at the seams. And I don't know if I just should have ran it on and left a little excess at the end. Probably would have helped a lot, but I mean, I've never worked with this stuff, so I don't know what I'm doing with it. But I can tell you, this stuff has been frustrating to figure out, because pretty much it's been nothing but issues. And it may just be, I don't know what the heck I'm doing with it, but so far, stuff drives me absolutely bonkers. Well, I jumped up in here to peel up this peel ply because it's just killing me bending over trying to get it. And my gosh, this thing's pretty daggone solid. There's no give. I'm pretty dang happy with it. Well, I got it overlapped, so I got to take the front off first now. This is where it was bubbling up bad. The peel ply was where it already had epoxy on it. I didn't see it. So, got quite a bit of work to do up here. But this stuff, this is cheaper. I don't know if I like it as much, but it doesn't tear like the other. At least not yet. Shocked the crap out of me. Yeah, still got a lot of work to do. Well, I'll tell you what, it ain't too bad. If I sat here and told you it was completely level and looks beautiful, I'll be lying through my teeth. Because whenever I sanded, I got some humps. When I sanded the foam down, I definitely got a few humps in between the ribs. Well, a lot of humps, almost every one. But you know what? I'm happy with it. It's a new waterproof deck. So, you know, I'll probably do some fairing in some places and level it back up a little bit wherever I have any bad dips or hit it with a sander a little too hard. But for the most part, I'm cool with it. I wish the peel ply would have done a better job. I think that's a bubble in the layup. I've got one or two of those I've got to deal with back in here. So I'm gonna have to do some more work for sure, but you know, it is what it is. And it's nothing that, a guy commented, he said, it's just fiberglass. It's nothing that can't be fixed with more fiberglass. And that is 100% true. So I'm gonna go by that motto. Just be happy with it, that I got it pretty much done as far as the deck and the foam, and just move on. Well, I hope you liked the video, and I hope that somebody found something useful. And again, I will link everything in the description, and hopefully I'll remember everything. But the fiberglass worked good. I like that fiberglass, and now I'm way down in the roll. I still haven't found any defects in it yet, so, but boy, it sucks up the resin. The epoxy I got from Boat Builder Central, that stuff is, I really like it. It works really good, and you know, I shopped around a lot. I mean a lot. I did a lot of research trying to find a good quality product that was marine grade and at a good price, and that was by far the best I could find. But you know, a lot of the prices I'm gonna have put in, or I may mention in the video, they've already changed. Everything's going crazy. I think the deep freeze they had earlier in the year in Texas, you know, epoxy, everything's petroleum based, so it affected a lot of that, and a lot of the prices have gone up. So bear with me on that, and I will link everything down below. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. And once again, I hope that, you know, somebody finds something helpful. This isn't as much of a how-to as just how I did it. And some things worked out really good, some things didn't. But I hope somebody can take something away from this and use it in their own projects and find it helpful. So again, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and I'm gonna try to keep pumping out videos hopefully every week. And we'll see you next time.